All right, that's enough of that nonsense. So, this is Henchmen Radio. We have 4 hosts tonight, which is a big departure of what we normally do, I suppose. Let's go around the table. Let's see who we got tonight, starting with my immediate left is Ailey, last name unknown. And here, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay.
Mouthful of food and everything.
Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, my name's Ailey. I'm just here hanging out. We're going to talk about Batman, so it sounds like a good time. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Philip, what about you?
Hello. How are we doing?
So far, so good?
Good.
Yes. So, then we have to his front, I guess, technically. I mean, it's counterclockwise for me. Like, it matters for the audience, but hey, we're painting a picture.
We're going forward to the left if anybody wants to keep track.
Yeah. Then we have Allie. Allie, say hello.
Hello, Allie here, also known as Mrs. Dammit-Phil.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Very much so. And a surprise guest, somebody who I thought would never be on the show or listen to one, is C-Rod.
So on, everybody.
Or would you prefer to be Crod the Conqueror?
It doesn't really matter, honestly.
All right.
Interchangeable.
C-Rod it is. And, of course, I am Jeff, which is the most important part, so I go last. Anyway, now we are all here to discuss, obviously, the main event tonight is Batman. We have the Batman premiere tonight, The Dark Knight Rises. Of course, this is going to be at midnight, so in the background we have... it's just The Dark Knight, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We already watched the 2 Tim Burtons as well as the Abominations that were Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh, and Batman and Robin.
Of course, Batman Begins. We were going to try and fit in Gotham Knight, but unfortunately we got a little short on time.
Yeah.
Even waking up at 9 a.m. and starting watching these fucking movies.
I didn't care for Gotham Knights that much. I don't know.
Oh, I loved it. I really thought... especially the idea they had of using the different artists for the different storylines really gave it an interesting flow. And obviously, I'm a huge fan of Deadshot, so being able to see that character, which we don't see very much, was really fun.
I haven't seen it. Where would you rank it with the other animated
Mike to the mouth.
films?
There you go.
I wouldn't really put it right up there with some of the other ones that have come out some of the Justice League ones that have come out of the animated movies or some of the
Superman,
cartoons.
Batman, Public Enemies, for
Red
example.
Hood
Yeah. I mean, I think it's up there comparison-wise to Animatrix. I think, it's that kind of a feel. If you liked Animatrix and dug how the different styles of art for the different storylines, that's really a lot of what Gotham Knight was, but it's a really interesting, deeper perspective into more than anything, not necessarily Batman, but Bruce Wayne himself, and more of where he goes personally between the 2 films, I think. And that was the thing really for me, because a lot of the movies, as much as I love the Nolans, they're very flash in the pan. And I think, a little bit of Bruce's backstory and that internal, battle that he has kind of gotten lost in translation, which I'm hoping to see in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of those movies that you're going to go back and watch multiple times over and over all the time. But
right, but it's good.
It's one of those movies where, it's a couple artists and storytellers who finally get a chance to, just tell a small story and just see what they can do with it. It's
it's a fun romp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fuck Jesus. This is great so far. I can't think of anything to say. Yay, show prep. All right. So yeah, Gotham Knights, nice and everything, but let's get into let's go all the way back. Let's talk about one of my favorite incarnations, the Adam West Batman.
Oh God. Can I preface this real quick? First, for me to say that last year we got the privilege and unfortunately the horror that was meeting Adam West in person.
And Burt Ward.
At Comic-Con. Burt Ward was a gentleman and a scholar. I love him. Robin is the man. Okay. Yay, the underdog. But I actually had the fun experience of being able to get an anti-Adam West Batman tattoo on my shoulder. It's Jokerized. It's the bat symbol, but it's purple and green. Very badass, I might say so myself, but he was just kind of a douche. I mean, kind of what you would expect. I mean, anyone that's been hyped for something like that big for so long and being surrounded by fanboys, I mean, inevitably it's going to get to you, I imagine. So I can't really blame him for being an asshole, but kind of an asshole, yes.
Well, let's go into it. Phil, what did he do to you that was so assholish, as it were? Like all right, let's set the scene. It was Comic-Con, Mid-Ohio-Con. It was last year. Mid-Ohio-Con is fastly approaching, by the way.
It was in October last year, though, so it was like the day or two before Halloween weekend.
And every year it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I just looked at the list the other day, and oh my gosh.
But you were
anyway.
So you were waiting online.
So I was waiting in line, and just talking to some other fans, about Adam West or whatever, whatnot. And a friend of ours actually had an Adam West or a Batman and Robin picture from when he was on TV for me to get signed anyway. So we were up there talking and everything, and finally I got up there, and so I'd give him my picture, and his assistant or whatever looks at me. He's like,
his fucking assistant.
He's like, "What's your name? What do you want signed?" I'm like, "My name's Phil." Just whatever he wants to write on there.
You didn't loudly declare, "I'm damn it, Phil."
No, I didn't. I didn't go and
He's not that cocky.
say, I am who I am. No, it's hi.
Adam West.
So it's like, okay, Adam West, he literally didn't say one word to me. Okay?
He didn't even say a word to you?
He didn't even say a word to me.
I didn't hear
Wouldn't
this
make
part.
eye contact.
He's looking down, just signing stuff, and so it's basically one of those things. He just keeps looking down, and the guy's sliding stuff underneath him, as it's like an express line, just
He's
sign,
not even
boom,
fucking
sign,
making
boom.
eye contact.
Henry Ford assembly line
And
style.
it's like, okay, so I'm just standing there.
He
just
doesn't speak unless spoken to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm just standing. Mr. West, thank you for everything. Thank you for the TV show, your cameo appearances,
Groveling
all that
at
stuff,
his feet.
just Thank you for Family Guy, just all the stuff.
You were just being a fanboy.
Yeah, just being a fanboy.
Just the normal shit.
Yeah,
I just have to give shit.
Yeah, and so I'm just doing the normal spiel or whatever, and he doesn't even look up. He just does one of the hand waves, just
shoes them on.
Shoo away, neck. It's like
exactly.
All right. And then so we're like, screw it, let's go get in line for Burt Ward.
Not to mention, this motherfucker's autographs were outrageously priced, over $60.
It's $125 for both.
Yes,
Yeah,
$125 for both Adam West and
$10
Burt
out of
Ward. Originally, Adam West was
it was 110 for Adam West.
Yeah,
15 for
No,
Burt
it was
Ward.
originally 65 for Adam West, and then at the last minute they changed it and it was 75.
I
for
watched.
Adam
They
West.
saw everybody and went, "Oh, we could charge these motherfuckers."
Well, no,
yeah.
we literally watched the price online change 4 times before we even got
That's
to the
fucking
thing.
awesome.
And then the day of, we watched the price rise again. What the hell is going on? But yeah, but
whose price didn't raise? Billy D. fucking Williams.
It was awesome. But
who was in the original Batman movie with Tim Burton as Harvey Dent? See how it's all interlaced.
And lest we forget that he actually, we talked to him, and he sincerely thought that he was going to get the chance to play Two-Face. That was part of the original plan, was Tim Burton was going to have him do Two-Face in the sequel.
I thought you meant the new one.
No, then they ended up getting Danny DeVito to sign on for Penguin, and it went a totally different way.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a choice. You're going to have to go with Danny DeVito as Penguin, though. I mean, look at the little motherfucker.
Definitely.
What
Absolutely.
Else do?
Well, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Wow. But Adam West Batman.
Oh, thank God, they can hear us. This is good news. They just yell, "Yay, Billy D!" So I know they can hear me.
Yay! Last time, just for reference, everyone, last time we thought we were talking, and it was Gargle the entire time. So it's kind of been.
We literally did. We literally did an entire show, and then we went back to listen to it and just.
So back off the
really?
mic,
Yeah,
I'm
seriously,
sorry.
dude. You don't have to put your mouth that fucking close to it either.
I'm not trying to.
First time you've ever said that.
Well,
All right, so we had the Adam West story, which I'm very happy we got to bring this time around. We did it last time, and no one fucking heard it, so we got it on this time.
Yeah.
I was jumping ahead, so let's not talk about Adam West right now. Let's talk about our qualifications as Batman experts per se. Phil, let's start with you. You've been a big Batman. Well, you're not even a big Batman fan. You're a big fucking Joker fan, is what you are.
he's a Riddler fan, really.
Yeah, I'm really just more
Riddler.
of just a
You
Batman
faggot.
villains fan, really.
He's an Arkham Asylum nut.
I just love the people that Batman has to face.
Okay.
So
you're like, at most people who love Batman, all they really love is the villains. That's what makes Batman the best in most of their eyes. Not so much, Bruce, fuck him. It's the Scarecrow.
Because let's be honest, nobody really relates to Batman.
I do.
Nobody really relates to Batman. I mean, like, yeah, we've had family members like die and like killed in front of us, yada
Yeah,
yada. You
some
know,
people in
I'll
an
never
alley.
be rich enough to be Batman.
Yeah.
We're working
One
on it.
day. Damn it.
We're gonna pool our money together and we're gonna take turns.
Jeff's actually going to shoot me in an alley, and then my child will become Batman.
Fucking Mask of the Phantasm? I'm not going to kill you.
Exactly. No.
Oh, shitballs. All right, so Arkham Asylum, nut, Phil. So that's where your opinion, area of expertise is coming from. Allie, favorite part of Batman, where you're coming from as a fan, let's say.
Well, obviously, if you know me, you know I am completely 100% devoted to the goddess that is Harley Quinn.
I couldn't tell by the shirt. She's wearing a
no.
Harley Quinn shirt, just so everyone knows.
Or the Mad Love tattooed on my arm, you know.
Nope.
But, yeah, I love Harley. I think she's just such a fantastic character all around. I could speak about her for hours. But I personally was very into Catwoman. That was one of the very first books I picked up in the early 90s. I believe it was 93 that I got my first comic.
Was that the purple suit
Yes.
Catwoman? Okay.
It was black hair, purple suit. The first issue I had was actually, I believe it was number 46, and she was helping with an apartment fire. And it was really just different than a lot of the other books I had picked up. I got it on my second go. And so Catwoman was my first interest, but
And
I
yes,
really
people,
felt...
Catwoman wasn't always a bad guy.
That's the fucking craziest thing, though.
Yeah.
For
There's
a
a
lot
couple
of them.
people that weren't always bad guys.
Yeah.
No, they actually made them like good to a certain extent. Like Catwoman,
Yeah.
all she did was steal shit, and Batman's like, "Oh, you crazy broad, you." And then they ended up like, "Oh, let's just have Batman fall in love with a villain." So like, "Oh, okay." And Joker was unavailable at the time, so.
Absolutely.
So,
But yeah, after Catwoman, I really got into Ivy. You know, the DCU has such female empowered villains, and especially in Batman. So I really like the female characters, but I actually know quite a bit about 80s to mid-90s Batman. That's a lot of what I've read. But ironically, I've never read The Long Halloween or Hush, so those are two that are on my list I got to get this year at Con.
Well, that brings us to C-Rod, who is a new... I mean, you've always loved Batman, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely from Tim Burton's movies got started, and then obviously the show would rerun.
The animated show?
No, the 70s, Adam West
Oh,
show.
okay.
I was alive when it was first on, but,
Mm-hmm.
so I remember watching that as a kid, but not really until the last, maybe I'd say 2 years that I really started getting into Batman and pretty much dove headfirst into it.
Yeah, you really did.
So.
You just started buying all the fucking trade paperbacks you could. Just
Yeah, I don't really buy
soaking it up.
the individual issues, just the collected work, so I've done quite a bit of reading over the last year, I'd say, and a half.
Yeah, I almost bow to your knowledge at this point. Like, I'm going to start coming to you like, wait a minute, what happened in The Long Halloween again?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot, but I wouldn't say I know a ton.
Gotta love the Joker laugh in the background.
Yeah. That's fucking great.
Go Heath. Rest in peace, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you got into it. Like, and you've always been a fan of like toys and stuff. Is that like the bridge kind of that you did?
Yeah, I would say it was. I mean, as a collecting like action figures, it wasn't necessarily Batman until it's like recently, last 2 years. But it's always been there. I mean, I had the toys when I was a kid for the movie.
That's my text message, sorry.
What the fuck was that?
Steve Smith from American Dad screaming son of a whore. It's from the episode with the cat that is almost dead and keeps flying in his
That's
face.
right.
Sorry, just Phil has the Ignore Me from Venture Brothers, and so I'm like, I need a really fucking funny
That's fucking
text
good.
message alert, so
all right,
apologies.
fair enough.
And
All
then
right.
we also have Ailey with us, who's pretty much brand new to Batman and the comics, and we've been bringing her in bit by bit. And
She's wearing a Batman shirt tonight, which she stole from her boyfriend, so...
good start to join the group.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, she's actually really gotten into Barbara Gordon and all the Batgirl stuff. A lot of that
Barbara.
mostly in part because I've said since minute one, since I met Ailey, that she looks so much like Barbara Gordon to me, like if Barbara actually lived in real life, because she's got like curly reddish hair, and she's more petite but athletic built. So I think,
I hope you never need a wheelchair.
Phil said she would love to have her go as Oracle one time and him do the, killing Joker with, the Hunter S. Thompson. Put him in flip-flops and paint his toes and fucking everything. It would be stupendous. I'm totally on board.
I just want to push her around in the Comic-Con. Taking pictures.
Hawaiian shirt.
Okay, interruption. Exactly. I actually got a text message here from one of our listeners, Jeremy Moore with Zombie Tap Dance Productions. Awesome people.
We're in talks to do a deal with them, perhaps a video show. More on that later.
Yeah, more to come on that. He said that in his opinion, the best part of Batman is his tool belt.
Oh, the utility belt's the best.
Yeah, the utility belt is awesome. I don't know if any of you guys out there, I know Jeff likes Mythbusters a little bit, right?
I hate Mythbusters,
no?
actually.
I thought you liked Mythbusters.
No, I fucking hate that show.
Well, they did one comic one that I saw that was cool where they tested out a real working grappling belt and how it would work.
Cool.
And it was really cool. So, yeah, Jeremy, I would agree because the physics of it are all nearly impossible, with the speed that Batman moves at. So.
Yeah. Apparently the grappling gun would work, but mostly everything else, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You tell me I can't just throw a pellet and freeze water? Come on now.
Well, no, I was just talking about the whole zip line in your pocket thing and all that.
The bat lines.
Fuck the bat line. Fucking Bruce. Piece of shit. That was the one thing about Hush. I'm reading that goddamn comic and I'm enjoying it this is a really cool, show and everything. Not show, book. But then at one point, his fucking grappling line gets cut, and he goes, the bat line. It doesn't have to fucking have bat at the beginning of every goddamn thing.
Well, to circle back to Adam West, apparently it does, Jeff.
Fucking bat line. It's a fucking rope, Bruce.
The bat.
You don't own
the anti-shark bat repellent or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, come on, dude.
The bat shield was by far the best Adam West accessory.
It really was, wasn't it?
A giant piece of plastic that said bat shield.
Just plexiglass.
Reflecting bullets and just everything.
I think the best thing about the Adam West Batman was Cesar Romero's mustache.
He just
painted over it. They just painted over it.
He's like, I'm Cesar fucking Romero. I do not shave this goddamn mustache.
I think it is. I think that was the stickling point.
If they would have insured body parts back then, the way they do now, with celebrities, that mustache would have been worth $1 million fucking dollars.
But only while painted.
Who are you? I'm Cesar Chavez.
They should have
look like Cesar Romero. Because you don't know what Cesar Chavez looks like.
Just on set, he's passed out in his trailer. Just come shave half it off.
I think he would kill somebody.
Well, before we get too far, Jeff, let's get into your Batman backstory.
I've just always loved comics. Joyous, no mustache ride joke. Apparently not. Apparently we're keeping it clean.
Tonight,
we try.
At least so far.
Yeah. I've always liked comics. I never really was into Batman that much though. I always preferred Marvel more than DC until I started actually getting back into comics. This is around 2005, 2006. And I just started picking up everything I could, So I was like, oh, Batman, let's try that out. I'm going to get Detective Comics, Batman, Dark Knight, or whatever. There were
Adventures
4,
of Batman and Robin.
Yeah, there's 4 Batman books at one point, and I was trying to get them all just to see what it was like. And Hush really got me right back into it because that was just such a good goddamn storyline. It was modern. It was done well. Yeah, it was just a well done story that was really, if that's what you need to read to get back into it. Yeah. Because it reintroduces so many characters. You've got Poison Ivy in there, Harley Quinn, Joker's in it for just a second, but everyone knows about Joker, so it was fucking phenomenal. It's one of the best introductory stories that you can read at this point that doesn't go all the way back.
Yeah, it was actually the first book that I picked up, and I was blown away by it.
Yeah.
Real good.
The first full-on Batman book that I picked up was actually the Frank Miller Dark Knight. And, I personally, as most of you guys know, like the really nitty-gritty, dark, gory kind of film noir books, and Frank really captured that, and I just absolutely loved it.
I actually hated the artwork in that, though.
A lot of people do. A lot of people really can't get on board.
Obviously, but I don't know, something about it.
Well, Frank Miller has a really distinct look, and that's why I think the things that he's produced himself are the most successful because, his look is very distinctive to the style that he draws, And so he, that's why he doesn't just draw for anybody. He kind of just does his own thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Frank Miller doing Batman.
I loved it. I really did.
I mean, he pretty much
year one was great. Yeah,
brought back Batman.
That's true.
Mainstream year one, obviously.
I disagree with him on the character, just philosophically and everything when he does The Dark Knight Returns, for example. He fucking hates Superman, and what he does is he goes, "Oh, Batman must hate Superman too because I'm Batman," for whatever fucking reason he thinks he is. But he's completely fucking wrong.
I thought it was a fun twist, just growing up with the kind of campy or Batman, to see him so dark and see that other side, and especially to see him with someone, that he works with and kind of doesn't necessarily love, because we always kind of have this idealized, cartoony vision of the Justice League, hey, everybody's friends and shit, but come on, anytime you're in a group that big, there's going to be someone that's annoying as fuck, someone that pisses you off,
Flash, Hal Jordan.
A lot of times the people you're around the most are going to get the most fucking annoying. So I thought it was kind of cool that, him and Supes would kind of butt heads, especially, I love the whole idea of bats and Wonder Woman.
There was just a couple things that, he kind of just threw in there and was like, oh, well, he would do this instead of what's been going on.
Yeah.
It's like I can see that, but it's like that's a bit more of reality, and these are a bit more comic books,
Right.
So let's keep it a bit more down with this a little bit, because, I mean, I understand, if with Batman, if he were here now, he'd probably have, a tank, like we have in the Batman movies and stuff now,
right, the tumbler.
But, I mean, he was the first one to actually put something like that into the Batman comics, and up until then, it was no, Batman's got, a super-proof car, he flies around, and
at some point, wasn't he driving around like a fucking beetle with a bat signal on the front?
Actually.
It's changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just funny.
I mean,
look at the costume, sorry to interrupt, but I mean, and that's the one thing I really love about the Justice League New Frontier is they really address that kind of shift from the kind of
sweet movie.
Juvenile, kind of the gray and black Batman with that kind of, cloth-looking mask, over to the darker, more, intimidating and, how that went, but, he's out to scare criminals, not children. I love that line, and just... Yeah.
But, come on, he put machine guns into the car. He's like, oh, well, he's got them on there, and they're for defense. It's like, Batman does not use guns.
Yeah.
Period.
Christopher Nolan,
period.
But every Batmobile has had a gun on it. Even
Tim
Burton had the two machine guns.
In the movies, at least.
They can destroy barriers and other things. There's other uses for guns. Batman's just against using guns to kill people.
Yeah, but from what I remember, and keep in mind that this has been years and years since I've read these for a while, but back when I was a kid, even in the comics, he never had a gun in the car,
He started with a gun.
It wasn't until...
I was about to bring that up.
He did start with a gun, he did start with a gun.
And he used to kill criminals, too.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
They were scum.
But that was back when it was when
that
Bob
was
Kane
the
still
early,
Yeah, it was still being done by Bob Kane. It wasn't until, he stopped and DC took over that it was Batman doesn't use guns anymore,
And then Tim Burton brought it back in his movies and blatantly had Batman killing people. I love when he straps the bomb on the big clown in Batman Returns. It's oh my God, you just exploded a fucking dude.
Yeah, in the movie, in the Tim Burton movies, he literally said, I'm going to kill you. You're going to die by my... It's Batman just said he's going to kill... Batman doesn't kill. Wait a minute.
What about that first awful scene in the Tim Burton Batman where he's like, hey, how's it going? It's just fucking Michael Keaton in a Batman suit.
Michael Keaton is the best Bruce Wayne of all time.
Bruce Wayne, probably. Yeah, Bruce Wayne.
I would say he's close. I think Bale.
The one
damn
scene
close.
where it's Knox and Vicky Vale in the room with all.
The samurai outfit.
I bought it in, Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's from Japan. How do you know?
Can I get a grant? And then he looks at him and then just does the double take.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Perfect.
But in the end, he gets his fucking grant.
Oh, and give Knox a grant.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Should we open another case of the champagne? Yeah, let's open another case of the champagne. Yeah, I mean, he had that kind of collective cool, but at the same time, he knew when he had to get his shit together.
Yeah, not as Batman.
Yeah.
Phil and I were actually having this discussion last night, a very common topic in the geek world, of who's been a good Bruce and who's been a good Batman. And as sad as I hate to say it, I think that Clooney was a pretty good Batman. His voice really carried well for it. And frankly, I think if you think of it in the Batman Beyond
you
sense,
have to separate it from
like
the
older Batman,
him acting as Batman.
right?
Yeah,
Movie.
I can see that. Yeah,
you know,
he did have the look a lot.
He's got that look, you know. He didn't really try too hard to like change his voice, you know, while still having that kind of deeper undertone, you know. But I mean, really, Kilmer was horrible. Keaton was not the best Batman, you know, but
okay.
not the worst.
Except for that first scene, it just was so terrible.
There were a few fucking scenes like that, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Keaton had a bit more of the whole like professional Bruce Wayne, like, and Batman feel to it, to where it's like you could feel that like he could be Batman like later, or, like when he's in the Batman suit, he could be Bruce Wayne later or whatever. He had that feel that he could be him, you know.
He had the balance.
With Christian Bale, it's like I can see Bruce Wayne in him, you know.
Yeah.
I can see, but if you got to growl just to be able to act as Batman, come on.
I mean,
really?
it's partly him, but I think it's also Nolan. Like they're just one of those people that like, all right, he needs to have a voice all to his own, but they forget I'm going to see a fucking movie about a comic book character. I can pretend.
Yeah.
You know, I can pretend.
We can leave a little voices to the imagination.
Yeah.
And I understand, I mean, they're kind of trying to make it stand out, you know, and be distinctive, separate to Bruce Wayne, you know, but I mean, ultimately, you know, the suit is enough. You don't need to have that. And really, you know, when you think about the people that Batman interacts with 90% of the time, they're not going to recognize his voice, so why does he need to hide it except when he's around people that he knows? Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would change it necessarily 100% of the time. I don't think Batman has a certain voice.
Pack-a-day smoker right there.
I think, you know, but obviously when he's in a situation where he's around, you know, someone like Harvey Dent or, you know, someone that knows his true identity, he's going to toughen up a little bit or kind of drop it low.
Tim Conley...
Conroy?
Conroy, for the animated. I mean,
best voice ever.
Best Batman voice, yeah.
You know,
the animated series was spot on.
And same thing with Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh, like, yeah.
Those you're reading the comic books, and you know you're
on Mike
picturing you know the voice.
Oh yeah.
And those are always the voices that you're thinking when you're reading those books. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tim Conway's just like he doesn't change the
Conroy.
Voice. Conroy.
No one can get it.
Fucking dwarf on Batman.
Mr. Conway Twitty.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I agree. I think the animated series, sorry to interrupt you real quick, but I think they had spot on voice casting all around, you know, and even with like Justice League, the animated series.
Oh,
games,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because what's his name who was on Wings, who always did Soups?
Tim Daly.
Tim Daly,
okay,
fantastic. You know, when I think of Superman, that's the voice, you know, I fall back on. So I mean, I know exactly what you guys are saying.
Yeah, because it's great. Because I mean, he didn't change the voice for Batman and Bruce Wayne. It was always the same voice, and it was believable for both. You know, and as we just haven't been able to find the actor that can do that yet.
Speaking of Supes and Batman, I want to share one of my favorite comic book covers ever with you guys, and that was it was way back. It was like one of the world's finest comics, you know, where it was like not part of continuity or anything like that, but it was it was little Bruce Wayne and little Clark Kent, and they're both sitting. I'm guessing this is like some Kryptonian fucking machine, but it's a thing that allows you to look into the future. And it was looking at both of them like, oh, look, Bruce, you become Batman, and I become Superman. And look how awesome it is in the future. You know, we get to fight crime, and how awesome is that? And I saw this on Super Dickory, of course. And underneath it says, wonderful uses of a machine that can see into the future. Predicting earthquakes. Stopping dictators from becoming evil warlords. Telling Bruce Wayne his fucking parents will be murdered in an alley in front of his eyes. And it's just one of the best fucking covers. Like, when you really think about it, like, oh yeah, I guess he could do that. Yeah, you don't have to be Batman. You can actually have a pretty good life.
Bruce, on this date, don't go to an opera. Stay home.
Don't go see Zorro, man.
Or at least just sit through it. Yeah.
Stay home for Leno.
Don't
It'll
be a punk bitch and walk out. Just sit through it, toughen up, pee in a cup. I don't know what to tell you. Do it.
Stop being such a fucking pussy.
All right, so after Adam West, I guess we should hop to Tim Burton.
which we've already kind of done. But yeah, I mean, the first Batman movie, of course, is iconic. You have to love it in a way because it's
Nicholson.
It brought Batman back to the masses more than anything else. You know,
that was the same time as Year One, so it's all kind of in that same area.
Yeah, they all kind of fed off of each other.
So.
Which also, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but apparently Tim Burton, when he did the Batman movie, he went into the studio not wanting to do a Batman movie. He wanted to do a Joker movie.
Yeah. Originally, he wanted it to be 90% Joker, 10% Batman at the end.
He didn't even want Batman in it until like the last 10 minutes when he like comes and gets Joker or some shit. And it's like, okay, so what did you want to do then?
Be fucking. I'm so arty.
Kevin.
Exactly. I wanted a giant fucking spider in the last 10 minutes.
No, that was the other guy.
I agree. I think just really iconic. Regardless of how much anyone loved Heath Ledger, Nicholson will always be the standard, I think, that Joker is kind of set by, just in the fact that he had the gadgets, he had the look, and at the time, the Jack Napier backstory was very readily accepted, and so it really fit, I think, and it was done so well, the props, and ultimately it was the first sales boom really associated with the film, so it was the first time that, the big names like DC and Marvel went, hey, we can actually make some money here. And, thank God they recognized that and people started buying these franchises up because now it's
Superman
so much more
also
readily
did that
accepted.
too, though. Yeah, when the Superman movie
but
came
I
out,
think that Batman really was just more to the masses. It wasn't, the goody, all-American boy. It was the darker, and, it was the late 80s. We needed a comic book that was a little bit grittier and
he was the grunge superhero.
Yeah.
The hair metal that was fucking Howard the Duck and shit like that.
The pre-emo comic.
Yeah, it was really good, and despite its faults and shit like that, like fucking Michael Keaton not being the greatest Batman, you still gotta love it. Yeah, for Jack Nicholson and Vicky Vale was introduced to that movie.
Oh, Kim Basinger was so hot.
She was good. Yeah. It was really well done, and we had a couple of years to stew in that before Batman Returns came out, and I feel that the second one was a better movie in a lot of different ways. One of them was fucking just the Penguin. I loved it.
Story. I mean, it just had a much fuller storyline. It flowed a lot better. I think the first one felt a little choppy. I don't know if that was editing or just story, but the second one just really flowed. It kind of held your attention a little bit better. And the comedy that you get from DeVito with, as well, the kind of dark rage that friggin' you get from Catwoman, that was just so awesome. And
let's talk about how shitty Alfred was in that first fucking movie. Just brings Vicky Vale into the Batcave.
She wanted to see the car, Bruce. Sorry, man.
What the fuck?
She's drunk. Don't worry about it.
Bitch won't remember tomorrow. I promise. I put Rofi in her fucking case.
Rofi?
Yeah,
Rofi.
Sorry.
A Rofi.
It's not as illegal as a roofie.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that brings us back to Batman Returns. Right. It was really good in a lot of ways, and of course Christopher Walken.
Oh, I was about to say that. Yeah.
Oh,
Anytime you have Batman and Christopher Walken in a movie.
Yeah.
Platinum.
He just fucking stone cold kills that bitch too. Just puts
and
her
the
out a
fake
fucking
Arnold
window.
that's his son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Okay, great job.
Terrible.
Just fucking great. And then we have one of the first abominations of a Batman movie, which was Batman Forever.
I actually like that movie.
I like it too.
Oh,
yeah, but
it's campy.
We all like it because of Jim Carrey. Let's be honest.
He
all like
saves that movie.
Yes.
But I do find myself watching that movie
over and over.
No, I would say over and over, but I say at least maybe,
a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of
I
those
can watch
movies
it.
that just
Yeah.
sucks you in.
It's one of those times where it's one of those movies that's like, I don't really know what to watch. I just want to watch something goofy.
Yeah.
Batman Forever,
Yeah.
let's go.
I can't take it seriously, but I can, waste an hour and a half and watch it.
And you gotta love that they just fucking brought Chris O'Donnell's career to the forefront, playing Robin, who's like 20 years older than he should be.
Yeah.
And he's Jason Todd, not Dick Grayson.
Well,
Right.
Well, really, he's a mix of all three of them. if you
Yeah.
think
Yeah, he's
about
a
it.
little Tim Drake. He's a little Tim Drake.
Yeah, more Dick Grayson and Jason Todd though, but a little bit of Tim Drake.
Dick Grayson's origin story, right?
Yeah,
the Flying Graysons, all that.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
But the attitude of Jason Todd.
And Jason Todd was originally seen stealing hubcaps off the Batmobile, and when we see Chris O'Donnell, he actually steals the Batmobile in the movie. So I think, they went with that more bad boy style. Plus, he rides a motorcycle. Dick was just, this young, good kid who was in the circus. He's the bad boy. He's Jason Todd. Pisses me off.
Dude, I love
all the Robins would have been, what, like, I'd say 11-ish?
10, 11.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Not a teenager yet, but still,
Definitely
adolescent, pre-puberty.
Still molestable.
Yeah.
Definitely not Chris O'Donnell.
Little yellow spankies.
Yeah.
Although I did like how they, the Flying Grayson's outfit in that movie was the
The
original
Night
Oh,
Robin.
it was spot on.
the original Robin. It was the...
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was
right.
the original Robin
that was
costume.
so fucking terrible.
It was spot on.
All of them were wearing the original
I
costumes.
forgot about that.
But it's little stuff like that. And then I can't remember if it was that movie or the next movie where he's like, holy rusted metal. What?
No, it was at the very end.
It was
of
at the end,
Metal
yeah.
rusted,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's campy, but,
Yeah. I mean, it's just the over-the-top Two-Face that fucking Tommy Lee Jones did. It was so bad.
It was so
And-
cartoony, though. That's
very much so.
And on that topic, we get to Batman and Robin. Over the top.
But another problem I have with Joel Schumacher is Gotham City.
Yeah.
It's
Everybody
it's
uses
like an
neon
X,
lights.
It's like everybody's on X in Gotham City.
Yeah.
Like
Everybody
all right,
does drugs.
lights. You really like them,
Everybody does drugs, which, I mean, okay,
Well,
fine. But,
Yeah.
I mean, do we need neon lights for everything? And, like, I mean, really?
It just looked bad. Like Gotham is supposed to be this dark, like the sky is always red, even when it's like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it was too fantastical, and it pulled you out of any kind of connection to reality with it.
And then I love the statues of Olympus everywhere, too.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Just like everywhere. He's holding a building. He's holding another globe. He's over here doing something. Like, what? Why is he everywhere?
You mean Atlas?
Atlas, Olympus, whatever.
Well, yeah, Olympus is the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
You're a dick.
Shut up.
God
Everybody
damn it,
knew what
Phil.
I was talking about until she said something.
I was
That's
gonna
true.
say,
You're welcome.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.
Wow.
Fuck
I'm
you,
his
Phil.
wife. I'm supposed to fuck with him.
So, yes. So, yeah, Batman and Robin is fucking... what else do you say about it? It's just so fucking bad.
Uma Thurman was hot as Ivy, and that's about that.
There was
all
a video
all
on
I can
YouTube.
say is that I cannot wait until the Batman coming out tonight because we're going to have 3.5 hours of just bomb.
But there's a video on YouTube. It's like a 2.5-minute video.
Yeah.
And it's all Arnold's quips.
Oh.
And that's all. If you've never seen the movie, just watch that, and that's all you need to see.
If I may,
Whips.
my favorite. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it is the chilling sound of your doom.
All of those, just 2 minutes of nonstop.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. What the fuck? You
I'm
son
your
of a
new
bitch.
cellmate. I'm here to make your life a living hell. Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, my God.
Always
then finally-
winterize your pipes.
And then finally... Oh, God. No. The fact that you can see the ice skates through the frozen skates was just one of the most ridiculous parts of that entire movie, if I can just say one last thing about that. But we're going to skip past that awfulness.
No,
and
hold
hop
on.
into...
You
God damn it,
gotta
Phil.
love the whole fighting over Poison Ivy though. I want her. No, I want her. No, I want her. No, I want her. Okay,
I
we'll
want
both
a
have her.
Robin
No,
signal.
none of us will have her. Okay.
I mean, they've invented ways around this. It's called the Eiffel Tower. You don't have to, fight over it. Because who hasn't seen that movie? Batman and Robin Triple X, by the way. Not bad.
Damn it, Jeff. But yeah, and then finally, Christopher Nolan came and redeemed us all with Batman Begins.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's just the first one where you go, oh, I guess you can do a good Batman movie.
And make it based in reality and not ridiculous. You can make it make sense and feel real in the actual real world. And that
And not
was
screw
my
up the characters.
favorite thing.
He didn't screw up the characters or nothing. You know,
Amazing casting.
He did it.
It's
believable.
We've had this conversation before. It's the little things that he changed that I wish he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of him now, but like in the Dark Knight
Oh, like the reporter. Like,
shit like that.
Like Anthony Michael Hall is there, and he's just reporter X. It doesn't really matter what his name is. He's just a reporter. That could have been the creeper. For anyone that gives a shit, they just call him Jack Ryder, and it's fine.
Yeah.
They do throw a couple things in though, like the guy on trial in Batman Begins is supposed to be Zaz.
Yeah.
Which they actually say his name in the courtroom scene, but you got to really pay attention to catch
but no one knows who Zaz is unless you play the video games, though.
Or unless you've read a bunch of the comics and stuff. Because he's not a big character.
What was that?
He is one of the villains in Nightfall.
Oh, he is? Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe, he is.
Okay.
It's the only one I've read that he's in. But even in the Batman Begins, though, you've got the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they call them the League of Shadows.
Yes. It's just little things like
that
that he could have changed up, but...
I guess he wouldn't have joined, though. Bruce Wayne, this is the League of Assassins. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had to change that to, we're the League of Shadows.
Until he sees Talia's hot ass.
around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, she's
I
supposed
need to
to be
learn
in
how
this
to
movie.
sneak.
Yeah,
and
they cast someone as young Roz. So I'm curious, does that mean we're going to see a flashback, or are we going to see him revived from the Lazarus pit, like my original theory after seeing the first movie?
Just don't come out and be like, oh well, Bane is Roz. No, don't fucking do that shit.
I fucking really hope they don't do that. That makes no
I will kill someone.
Well, I just hope they don't end up doing it was like, oh, Bane is the new leader of the League of Shadows or some shit, and Bane is now Zaz or Raz or whatever. It's like Roz. Yeah, it's like
Bane the Demon. I know him and Roz team up for a little bit, but it's not.
He could be working with them, but I don't think they would do all that.
Yeah, I'll just fan hopeful no.
Yeah, who knows?
Overall, I think Begins really encapsulated the best Bruce origin that we've seen so far. Especially, we were talking about Year One. They really worked in, everyone who's ever read Year One has always gone, well, okay, we see him go off, but then what? Because they kind of just skip. Kind of like in the Bible, we just see this time jump. All of a sudden, oh, now he's, got these skills. And, you're like, what the fuck just happened? So it's kind of cool to see a little bit of that.
That was cool in Begins when he was just wearing, the ski mask and the very basic bat suit.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
You see him jump off the building and he gets hurt. It's like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so now I need to get this. That was a nice little hero's journey. Yeah, he keeps picking up little pieces here.
I guess I never thought, but that is the only origin movie that's ever been done for Batman.
It is.
Yeah.
All the other times, they've always just flashed back, and you see a clip.
Yeah.
And it's always just the parent's death. We never see him training. And even in the comic books, it's not really addressed very well. And I think that's one great thing. Christopher Nolan's all about setting a new standard, with all of the films he's done, especially things like Memento, and now they're saying this movie we're seeing tonight, is setting a new standard in comic books and, comic book films. And, he really just took it to that next step of going, you don't have to just, do what everyone expects. There goes my phone again. I thought I turned it off. I'm sorry.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, C-Rod?
Once or twice.
Okay.
You never forget.
Every other Wednesday.
But, you can just totally, connect to that kind of, character level more personally once you see more of the struggle instead of just going, okay, his parents died. A lot of people lose their parents, that doesn't make you a fucking superhero. What were the actual steps he took? So I thought that was really groundbreaking. And seeing some of these characters that we haven't seen, like Scarecrow and Lucius Fox, and,
Scarecrow was fucking badass.
Yeah.
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
That movie made me in love with you.
I was one of those characters, I never figured I'd actually see him on screen, and then when I finally did, I was really pleased and very happy that I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is fantastic.
I did at the very beginning of The Dark Knight, when he came back, it was him.
Yeah.
It was just that minor little thing, I'm going to beat his ass, tie him up, and then, and that's just the way it is.
And see, that's something I'd like to see them start doing more often in a bunch of comic book movies. Take some of the small little characters and throw them in there for 10 minutes. Give us a Spider-Man movie, have him open the Spider-Man movie up with him beating up Mysterio,
the Shocker,
throw him into the police wagon, and then that's it.
I saw Ailey's head turn around real quick, what?
I mean, you don't even need to. It's more just like a gift for the fans. Don't even really acknowledge them. Just kind of in the background, oh my god, that was such and such.
Yeah.
Give fans a reason to go back and pause it and look around in the backgrounds and stuff. Give us a reason, just put a character just in the background. Don't even put them in any of the stories, even the future. Just put them in there for no reason.
I mean, I think Marvel did it amazingly with all the Avenger movies.
Absolutely.
You know, just little stuff like that. Like, you see, Captain America's shield, or you see
Thor's hammer.
Yeah, Captain America and the ice and the Hulk, like,
Which I do have to bring up one Marvel thing tonight. I recently heard a theory, or a rumor, I guess, going around that supposedly for the next Avengers movie, they're talking about bringing back Agent Coulson as the Vision.
I don't know if I like that or not, but I mean, that's interesting.
I think it's really interesting, and it could be done really well, but you got to tread carefully.
We got to see how Ant-Man does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I when I heard about it, I thought that was a rumor, and because I never really pictured seeing an Ant-Man movie.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Let me inform you about the fucking Ant-Man movie. By the way, it's been slated. Like, I thought it was going to come out before this Avengers movie came out. Like, that's how long ago I knew there was going to be an Ant-Man movie. And
that's how I heard about it. Yeah.
And Edgar Wright was attached to direct it. Edgar Wright's the same guy who did Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. He directed all those movies with Soundtrack and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
So when you hear that, like, that's fucking awesome. They're going to make a funny Ant-Man movie, or at least one with enough humor in it that it can tell a good story.
Yeah.
But he just fucking sat around, did other shit. He did Scott Pilgrim, which I'm happy he did Scott Pilgrim because I fucking love that movie. But he just kept putting it off. Now he says they finally did some screen testing for it. They've written a script. So Ant-Man movie is coming, probably like 2013 or 14. But finally we're gonna fucking see. I'm excited for it.
But do you really think that it's a character that really needs a whole movie of his own?
To bring him into the fold, absolutely, he does.
If they make a good movie, then why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And if they can do it with like the Wasp in it as well, get like a twofer, that's great.
Yeah.
And he's the one that fucking makes Ultron, so.
Because I mean, I was really hoping to like maybe just see like a cameo appearance of him or something in the Avengers movie. That's what I was hoping, because I figured that's all I would ever get from an Ant-Man. Because come on, he's Ant-Man.
He's not a huge character.
He's not a big character.
He's one of the founding members of the Avengers, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those guys you have to have respect for him if you're a comic book fan, but if you're looking from the outside, like, who gives a shit about the guy who rides an ant around?
He's like Aquaman.
But even as a comic book fan, I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, really, Ant-Man? Ant-Man the movie? It's like, okay. It's like I just never really thought about making an Ant-Man movie, or even like a company even saying, okay, let's make an Ant-Man movie, like I
your brother's in the room, by the way.
Oh, hey, yay.
Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Hola.
Hi, Sean.
Fuck you, Jeff. But anyways, back to Batman.
Batman.
So yeah, Batman Begins, absolutely stupendous. And then we get into The Dark Knight, which we are watching right now.
Well, you're even bringing up, characters like the Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul,
Oh, absolutely.
You never thought you'd see a
Liam
Batman movie.
Neeson did fantastic.
I mean,
talk about badass.
Is an actor, so
yeah.
He's professional.
He's an actor.
I mean,
not like these other fucks.
Yeah, no. He brings his A game, whatever he's in. So there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, you know what else he did? The A-Team, Battleship, and Taken. So how much of an actor is he really?
Hey,
I'm not saying he picks good roles.
Oh, fair enough.
Taken was fun.
He was in Schindler's List. Give him a break.
That's true. Yeah, there are your papers.
Work for Oscar Schindler.
Anyways.
My favorite comedy.
So, Dark Knight, probably the best Two-Face we will ever see.
Absolutely. Aaron Eckhart is phenomenal.
I loved it.
I'm pissed.
I mean, I would say he's probably the best Harvey Dent.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's only Two-Face for, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Harvey Dent just blows out of the water.
Absolutely.
I kind of wish maybe we might, or kind of hope maybe. I haven't even looked at the cast list or anything for the next Batman movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing like just a little bit more of Two-Face in the next movie or something, just because of this one. I mean,
I think he is dead.
IMDb does
I think
have
so
him in the cast. Whether I don't know Two-Face, I don't know what he's doing, but
okay, it might even just be like a flashback or something, But
who knows?
It's just one of those things like with I love seeing him like flip the coin to make a decision, of like I'm gonna kill you or not, but it's just another one of those things like just would have like seen a little bit more of like second personality a little bit, just like we're gonna kill you,
well, and the way he got fried.
Oh,
it was just really well done.
Yeah. I am so fucking happy Rachel Dawes is dead.
Yes, thank you.
Even though
Maggie Gyllenhaal made her a bearable character. Can I just say?
No. fucking
much more
awful
bearable
pan-faced
than
bitch.
Katie Holmes.
But it's
I
just
mean-
one of those things like if Batman's gonna have a female relationship, unless it's a villain, she has to die.
Yeah.
It's the only way it works. Batman's either she's a villain or she's dead. That's the only way a relationship for Batman works with a female.
It took me out of it when like everyone's like, oh, we gotta fuck Maggie Gyllenhaal. Like I just didn't see no, we don't.
No.
I mean, the Joker looks at her and like, oh, like he's all fucking horned up, like, ew. No
It's
one.
Gotham. Chicks aren't that hot there. Unless you're a villain.
That's actually incorrect. I mean, I think they're all hot, really. Besides fucking Rachel Dawes, apparently. Ugh, fucking Scientology. Just fucking ruins everything. Anyway, yeah. I mean, Scientology is great. No one kill us over.
Roger's Scientologist.
One of the greatest puns ever is in this movie. When the actor who played Spawn in the live action stands up and says, "Enough from the clown, I about pissed my pants."
Michael Jai White.
That was amazing.
Not to be confused with Jaleel White, who is Urkel.
Yes. Urkel Spawn.
Awesome. Oh my God! Do you know how fucking much I would pay to see fucking Urkel in any movie where he's not trying to be Urkel? Come on, Stefan, get the fuck out of here. Oh, good time. So, I mean, Heath Ledger got an Oscar for The Dark Knight, which of course he deserved. I felt it was just so fucking good what he did with the character.
Don't get me
Part
wrong.
of me is, did he get it because he died though?
Yeah.
I also wonder that too.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
I'm saying he didn't deserve it, but
you don't see the Academy oftentimes praising people, even though that's a fucking role and a half.
Oh no,
you know, like you're probably right. They probably never would have given to him if he, had stayed away from the goddamn pills and the Olsen twins.
Because I mean,
yes, the
which
Olsen
one's more
twins
dangerous?
killed him.
Because I mean, other than like special effects and music and stuff like that, like they usually don't give two shits about comic movies and nothing. Like whether you're a great actor in it or not, or a great director or story writer, it's a comic book movie. We don't give a shit,
To be fair, though, they really haven't warranted any special attention either. I mean, Christopher Nolan's the first guy that's like a director that got one of these movies, and Joss Whedon, who we all love, he's not been, viewed as like, the next Scorsese or anything like that.
I mean, his biggest work was Firefly, and that was, one season?
Yeah, it was one season.
His biggest work was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, sir. Watch your fucking mouth.
Oh, shit.
But, I mean, when you think about it, like, everybody's like, oh, he's doing a great job as Joker. He's getting, like, a bunch of press. And then he died, and it's like, oh, my God, Joker's, like, this fantastic character. It's, like, his best work. It's like, why wasn't he getting that press before? So then it's like, then it brings it up again. It's like, did he get it because he died or because it was the best?
Well, did we like it
because
he died too? Like,
well, don't get me wrong.
Think about.
Like I said, I really like Nicholson. He's my number one. But the thing is that Joker is both sides of that coin. And that's what was, I think, so appealing to the masses with this Joker, with the Heath Ledger, was that we got to see the dark, sadistic clown, not just the happy-go-lucky, psychotic clown.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the real Joker is both, and we have yet to see someone that can flip back and forth between the two in kind of the way that the animated series and the comic portrays Joker.
Yeah.
And until we get that, I don't think, I'll ever be 100% satisfied. And ultimately, I think the reason that Nicholson wins it for me is just the gadgets. The hand buzzer that electrocutes the guy, and, the giant gun that he pulls out of his pants, and, the posy that squirts the acid, and, he's got the toys.
I do love in The Dark Knight, though, when they get Joker, and they're just laying out, it's like 50 knives.
Yeah. But he has no ID. There's no tags in his clothes. That was one of my favorite things, that all of his clothes were handmade. Because that's something that gets passed over a lot, is that, all these heroes and villains make their own costumes.
Think of the devil. It's that scene, exactly.
I know. I kind of saw it and was like, oh, I love that scene.
But, it's like they all make their own suits. Like, no one really talks about, the time that superheroes sit at home with their fucking Singer sewing machine and fucking put their shit together, but it's
that's
like,
what I liked about Amazing Spider-Man, actually, is that they had a scene like that.
I heard about that.
Yeah, where he's sitting there making his suit, which, again, it's too good, to be that, but at the same time, you're like fucking disbelief.
Right.
Suspended.
Well, it's part of, the fantasy.
Yeah, but don't you really want to crack open a comic book and see a picture like Bruce Wayne in a torn up Batman suit, and he's sitting there like sewing it back together or some shit?
God damn it! I just fixed this morning.
I'm gonna fire Alfred. He's terrible.
Fucking old maid Batman? No, I don't want
the wrong stitch for this. But yeah.
He's got the fucking pins in his mouth.
You see
the tomato pin thing.
You see Alfred in the background, like he's on like a 15-minute break, like looking at his watch.
Smoking a cigarette.
The Batmobile for the 90th time that week.
No one talks about that shit.
I tell you, Master Bruce, this tire gets shot again. I'm not changing it.
I mean, Alfred is the man of all trades.
Yeah, he's the medic, he's the mechanic, he's the fucking knitter.
He's a strategist.
You need something crocheted, go to Alfred.
Keep in mind, he was in the Royal Air Force, too.
The RAF, baby.
No.
He's a badass.
Now all I can think about is fucking Woodhouse from Archer. Whenever I think of that. Ugh, poor fucking Woodhouse. But yeah.
So what line do you guys cross between a director's vision and contradicting a comic book?
I think
this is Ledger's Joker is not the origin story that was, in The Killing Joke.
Well, that's the thing. Like with Joker, like he has multiple backstories.
Right.
That's the thing. Nobody knows exactly which backstory is Joker's actual backstory, or if he's even told it. Mm-hmm. Now, like with the Jack Napier one, that's more, like a lot of people believe that to be the most believable, the one that would probably work out the best, and as most people believe it'd be that is his original storyline. But again, it's one of those things like you're just not 100% sure.
And that's what makes it so appealing, I think.
Which is what we love this one so much is that Joker tells like 2 or 3 people like about his mouth.
A different fucking story
each time. It's different.
And there's actually a quote, I want to say it's in Killing Joke, where he says, "I like my paths to be multiple choice."
Yeah.
But I mean, to go to your question, C-Rod, that's something I really, like to talk about. I think that ultimately, if it benefits the story in a way that will open a new audience to the character without, violating a core fundamental. Like, you can't go back and go, okay, some jackass shot Batman's parents. No, it's Joe Chill. Like, that's the way it goes. With the exception
I didn't like that in Batman, the original 1989 version, where fucking Joker killed his parents.
Yeah.
Like,
that was my big problem.
What a
with that
happenstance,
backstory, But it's like there's certain basic outlines, that you have to follow, certain rules. But little details, ultimately, if it benefits the story, go for it. I mean, and that coming from me, and you guys know how I feel about Watchmen. So, I mean, ultimately, I don't think you can violate the ultimate storyline and the goal of the story by betraying, the basic, kind of commandments, really, of that story. There's always, your outline. And as long as you stick to the outline, I think with comic book movies, you'll be fine. It's when, the little nitpicky things that you're okay with to change. But once you go to something major.
What did you guys prefer Two-Face's and Becoming and the movie more, where his face catches on fire, or even more for the acid in the courtroom?
Well, the acid in the courtroom is. The acid in the courtroom is actually how it happened in the comics and everything. They even did that in the
Batman Forever.
The Batman Forever one, But I mean, either one worked. This one was believable too. They both worked for the story. So I don't really care two ways or another of like how exactly he gets his second face. Just don't do it to where it's like, oh well, now he's Two-Face, and now there's no more Harvey, and it's completely. Just don't screw it up. Like if you want to set him on fire, if you even want to just do it to where like somebody goes in and like dismembers him or some shit. If it works and it's believable and it's not too hokey or some shit, go for it. There's just like certain rules that you just certain as fans and everything, like there's certain rules you don't change.
Like having him die.
Yeah. I prefer, if I had a choice, I would prefer the courtroom scene with the acid, because
agreed.
Because that was like him in his element, and that's what was taken away from him. As a lawyer, he just gets fucking rocked, because that's what he did the best. That's what Harvey Dent was. I like this version too, though. But if I had a choice, I would prefer the original comic one, because I felt that was the point of Two-Face. Like. The fact that he was robbed of something, by fucking half his face going away, was more that, instead of I lost my girlfriend and half my face. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus about him being a pretty boy and then now I'm scarred. And
yeah.
was like, oh.
I did love in the fucking movie though. You live, you die. That was fucking good.
Yeah.
Why aren't there 3 sides to a coin?
I shoot you in the foot.
We shake hands and part ways.
I paralyze you. How about that?
There was a great Robot Chicken sketch where it was he just kept getting burnt, and he would become tri-face and quadruple face or something.
Really?
Yeah, like he was like it was one of them was it was like a 6-sided die or something like that. You know, it was 1, 2, and 3, and one of them was like, you live, you die, we go and get hot cocoa. And then he would get hot cocoa and he'd burn his face. I thought that was really good.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Rod, let me ask you, as fans, like brand new to comics and everything, are there any stories or anything that you've read or seen or anything where it's like, oh my God, this is some of the worst? Like, this can't. Why is this done here?
Why is it done?
Like which ones did you not like? So you've read like Hush, Long Halloween, Killing Joke, all that kind of shit. Like, was there one that stood out? Like, what? I
would say the worst one for me to even try and get through was Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's a really slow story.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he's retired, so he's not actually Batman anymore. It was just slow, and it was probably the only story that I was actually like, come on, let's try and get this through type of thing.
Come on, get him in the fucking Batman suit, beat some Superman ass.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything I've read, I've really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I mean, if they're a trade paperback though, like
they're probably
they're kind of a good story.
Yeah.
I would like a beer.
Yeah, I'll take whatever.
Okay. Look at that ass. The Elseworld stories of Batman are a really good take on, like any alternate dimension Batman.
I love those stories.
Yeah, those are some of the best because you get to see, Batman as a pirate or Batman Gaslight by Gotham. One of my favorites by far. That is so fucking cool.
Well, they take other stories and twist it into a Batman story.
Yeah.
Like even Noel. I know you were talking you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just it got fucking ruined because every book I bought, there was the same 4 pages in the back of it. And I bought like every book that came out, every one of those number ones, there was a fucking Batman Noel thing at the end of it.
But it's actually a really good story.
Okay, fair enough.
And I mean the artwork, I would say, I can't remember the guy who drew it now, but it's probably my favorite artist doing Batman. It's so realistic.
Was it Dean Allen?
No, it was. I can't even think of the name now.
Alex Ross?
No. It was somebody completely different. I think it was an actual, goodness artist.
I never read it, so I can't tell you.
Neil Adams?
I asked.
Oh. They said
Didn't I?
Allen. They said Neil Allen.
I have no idea. I'm out of it. Sorry. Just had to pee.
I'll
Not
I think
in contact.
I'll say it, but I can't think of it now. But yeah, like any of those Elseworld stories, I love those all those. So.
Yeah. Now, are there any old school stories or anything from Batman that you haven't read that you've been wanting to read or that you really don't care about or anything?
I mean, right now all I've been really reading is essentially from year one and trying to keep a continuity timeline. So I haven't really read any of the original, Detective Comics stories, that kind of just original comic book, just, no real storyline through all these. Eventually, I'll get back to those, but as of right now, it's, it's all pretty much modern.
Okay.
But.
What about you, Haley?
What?
Anything you've seen or anything that's been just popped out at you, have been your favorite Batman story or anything, or?
I like the Batman and Robin with Chris O'Donnell. I like
it. Aliens of the newer generation. Mind you, she's not much younger than us, but still.
I've never seen it.
Star Wars Phantom Menace?
Don't do it.
Never seen it?
Oh, that one.
Just walk away. Just walk away.
You didn't like that
one? Well, it was more built so people her age, so I can see it working. No, seriously, we were a little old for it, when it came out.
She was at the prime age for her to be one of the girls to put the Robin poster up on her wall, the heartthrob.
She loves Chris O'Donnell, didn't you, Ailey?
He was cute. Come on, he was cute.
Robin, Dick Grayson, yay.
I do like George Clooney, but.
I like George Clooney as
I
Batman.
still have George Clooney's poster up in my closet. Wait.
In
what?
Scrubs?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
I had to get her off the mic.
Fuck you, Jeff. You're such an ass.
I know, I'm an asshole. No, just kidding.
You ask, this is what you get.
That's very true. Jeremy Zombie Tap Dance Productions brought up Red Rain being one of the Elseworld Batman comics where Batman becomes like a bat vampire kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, he battles Dracula, I believe, in that.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
There's I think it's 3 books, but yeah, it was just very interesting, pretty good.
Yeah, it was really. I mean, just to make him like a monster, like an actual, honest to goodness monster, is really an interesting twist on it. The only time I actually read anything about it though was during the whole Infinite Crisis thing, or was it Final Crisis? Who fucking knows at this point? I think it was Final Crisis, where they did they started traveling to different worlds, and they were basically introducing all the Elseworld stories.
That's Final Crisis, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Gotham by Gaslight, but the vampire Batman was in that world, like he didn't belong.
Yeah.
So they had to team up with Victorian age Robin and Batman to take him out. I fucking love that comic. That was really goddamn cool.
I didn't get to read too many of the Elseworld Batman stories.
We have all the Final Crisis books, though.
Yeah.
So we need to read that. That's actually the ivy I want to get on my shoulder is from the Final Crisis cover. But yeah, I really like the alternate Earth. That's something they're starting to get back into. They're getting ready to do Earth 1 Batman, I think, here soon, which is very exciting for me. I'm really interested in that. I always like the different, I like the Earth 2 stuff a lot, especially now that we have a gay Green Lantern, yay.
It's just so weird the way they did that, because I picked up the first Earth 2, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. They killed Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in the first comic.
But it's so interesting because of that. It's such, when you get into the Infinite Earth perspective, that is such a fascinating Earth to look at, because we live in a society that is built around those 3 fundamental characters in the DCU, and that's why I've even talked to Phil. I think the best way they could do a Justice League movie would be to do Earth 2. Not do those core 3, but to see the kind of other characters, take their stand. And then maybe in the end of the movie, we see, another Earth, and we see those 3, and they kind of go, this is what the Justice League can be. This is, whatever.
The interesting thing they're doing with the movies is they're making no more movies except Batman and Superman movies right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Until they decide we're going to do a Justice League movie.
And they have to find the right actors first.
Are they not doing a Green Lantern movie after?
I think they are still doing another Green Lantern movie.
No.
However, really? No?
Fuck that.
I heard that they were still planning on doing it no matter what.
No.
Okay.
They've come out and said Batman, Superman, maybe another Superman movie, Justice League, and then after that they'll make spin-offs of the
Justice League is going to be the launch.
I did read somewhere that Warner Brothers, I believe it is, is trying to talk to Christopher Nolan after this Batman movie to talk to him about working on some Justice League movies.
Oh, he said no fucking way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I also heard that he was wanting to be behind the scenes of the relaunch of Batman again.
No, he's not interested. He considers his work to be complete and finished. And apparently with the way the reviews have been for what we're seeing tonight, it's very good. So I don't think he really needs to go back and do anything differently, and I think ultimately that's his thing. He doesn't want to repeat himself.
Is he directing the new Superman movie, or just kind of
the new Superman movie, who is directing that? It's
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's
I thought Henchmen was tied in with it, wasn't he?
Oh, Phil's got it? All right. I know he's not directing it, but it's somebody else. He might be executive producing it or something like that. I doubt it, but
okay.
I think he's done with DC, basically.
I think so, too. I think he did what he wanted to do. I think he's only interested in doing Batman also, you know, and as we've all kind of talked about it, I think when Heath died, it really put his original game plan in a downward spiral, and he had to kind of throw it together. And I think, he's definitely a man with a vision, and I don't think he has any interest in doing anything other than what he's done. So, and I frankly think if you're going to go, to a team up, it's got to be done a different way. You know, as much as I love the Nolan films, it's a very, solo movie. It's all about Batman. I don't think,
Zack Snyder.
Yes, the guy who did Watchmen.
Fucking right. Yeah.
I think that, for
Watchmen,
like a team-up movie, you need someone.
Too, didn't he?
Yes.
God.
Oh my God, I love Sucker Punch. That's a whole other thing.
It's awful.
Fuck you. I want to go as Baby Doll. I need to lose some goddamn weight.
But I'll be honest, I'm curious to see this Man of Steel
And the
movie.
room turned on C-Rod.
Hey man, Sucker Punch is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah.
What was that, Ailey?
I said, watch out, I'll take the mic from you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I will. I've done it before.
I'm really curious to check out this Man of Steel movie just because of all the people that have signed on
Dude,
and
fucking
who
Kevin
they've signed on
Costner.
as who. Yeah, Kevin Costner is Paul Kent.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe is Jor-El. It's like
That's
who?
terrifying.
It's like, what the hell
Boy,
is going
let's get
on?
Brainiac.
No.
As long as Richard Pryor's not going to be in it, I think we'll be okay.
I believe Susan Sarandon is Ma Kent.
Yeah.
I think so,
You
yeah.
know?
It's fucking crazy.
It's like all
But-
these big people. It's like, really?
All I was
Bring everybody out of
saying,
retirement.
all I was saying is I think when you're going to do an ensemble piece, you need a certain kind of director, and things have to be started out a specific way. And I think they're really smart in going about it the way they are, because you got to launch it right. I mean, if Avengers and the way Marvel did it showed us anything, you got to be very careful. I mean, if Captain America wouldn't have been as widely, accepted as it was, I don't think Avengers would have taken off nearly as well as it did. And, now that's kind of going to be like the standard for them to try and match.
Let's just be happy that they didn't make the Nazis into aliens and stuff like they did in the animated and stuff.
Because they
Captain
went
America
right
turned out
off
okay.
of Ultimate Avengers,
Yeah.
right off. I mean, it was. If you saw the Ultimate Avengers
they made him the
animated, it was
Chitauri.
very close.
Well, yeah, in the wait a minute.
In the animated movie, they made him the Chitauri.
Really?
Yeah.
I think in the comic they were Skrulls.
No, in the comic they were Nazis.
Whatever.
Motherfucker.
Anyways, I keep saying that because we get off track so easy.
Anyway, all right. So let's say there is a Justice League movie. Well, I mean, there's going to be a Justice League movie.
Eventually.
I was reading on IO9. They said like the top 10 things to avoid when you make a Justice League movie, and they brought up a lot of good points. But I think it's just a bad move to make a Justice League movie. Because then you have 7 people you have to do origin stories for right away. Like you have to reintroduce people to a Green Lantern because nobody went to go fucking see the last one. You have to fucking do the Flash's origin. You have to do Martian Manhunter.
Do you?
Well, you don't necessarily need Martian
I don't
Manhunter.
think you do. I think you can kind of jump right in and do flashbacks throughout to kind of
What if
introduce.
What if we try to do a Justice League movie without the core 3?
Like I said,
could we try not to do
no
the
one
core
wants
3?
to see that. Unfortunately, like we would. I would love to go see Blue Beetle, Booster Gold.
Oh,
Justice
Booster
League
Gold.
International. That would be fucking great. But
Neil McDonough needs to play Booster Gold.
there's no fucking way they're gonna make a Justice League movie with a bunch of B-listers. That's just not their
Well,
prerogative.
not even B-listers. Like, use A-listers. Just don't use the core 3. Because that's where it gets muggy. Is that you've got 3 people that you have to make huge because everybody loves them so much, being Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. If you got 3 people that are wanting to be in the spotlight, you're gonna just get a giant story that's just gonna shamble off. That's why we have Justice League arcs that last like 9 issues long and shit.
But that's the point I'm making, is that you have to divulge a lot of time to those 3 characters. Why not just before a Justice League movie comes out? This is what IO9 suggested too. Make a Batman movie. Make a Batman Superman movie. Batman Superman Wonder Woman movie.
Team them up 3 movies.
Yeah, 3 movies where you get those 3 characters in there. That way you get all that shit out of the way, and they just get. Then it can be the Green Lantern, Flash, whoever else movie, and those 3 who we already know their story. We're back into it. Like it's just.
The question is are they going to do strong enough establishing them for people to stick with it that long? If you're talking about 3, lead-ups to one team-up movie to only lead to multiple team-up movies, you really have to get people invested, and I think that's going to take a long fucking time.
Well, let's not forget Wonder Woman herself, just by herself. That's a movie right there that needs to be done because it's so rich in a backstory.
But it's going to be so goddamn expensive to do it right.
Well, exactly. So introducing her alone in a movie like that, I don't want to see, a 5-minute flashback where they go, she was made out of fucking clay. back to the story. You know, like
that's fair.
No, yeah.
Trust me, you know, if anyone wants her to be done right, it's me.
Right.
All three of those characters, like if you're going to do their origin story, give us one movie of their origin story.
I mean, all those characters, though, not just those three, have rich stories. I mean, the Flash.
Yeah.
And even like the Green Lantern, if you do it right.
Yeah. If you don't fucking mess it up.
Yeah.
You know, goddamn.
Why did they have to try and do both?
Ryan Reynolds.
Make it a goddamn
Kyle
space
Rayner.
movie. Stop being on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That was my problem with that goddamn movie. I'm sorry.
And then the room went silent.
Well,
no one has an opinion.
It was a great concept, but just not executed.
And
properly.
Parallax is a goddamn parasite. He is not a Guardian. I know a lot of people like that, but that was a huge problem for me. I mean, I loved Rebirth, and Rebirth really established what Parallax was and what he wasn't, and he was not a Guardian, I think, and that kind of ultimately violates the purity of the Guardian.
No, Chrono was a Guardian. That's the problem.
Yes.
They just combined too much shit into one just to kind of conveniently make it, a Green Lantern movie. Like, well, we have all of that in there. Like, no, you.
And where was Chip? Where was Chip?
Fucking Chip, the squirrel Green Lantern. Anyway,
Chip could have beat Parallax by himself.
Watch how we get it back to Batman. So a famous Green Lantern scene was when Guy Gardner challenged Batman to a fist fight, no powers, no ring, and Batman knocked him out with one punch.
Yeah.
Batman is awesome. Back to Batman.
Well, how
6
about
degrees of Kevin Bacon right there.
How about when Hal Jordan put his ring on Batman?
That was one of the most badass scenes in comics. I love that.
Yes.
Where he's got that fucking Green Lantern outfit on, and he's so close to working out all this dumb fucking issues.
Yeah.
And he takes like, nah.
No.
That's too easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too fucking easy.
I have to brood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he just sat there in his little fucking swivel chair, just cruising message boards?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what I picture him doing when he's off, just
Alfred blasts the music.
Well, keep in mind, though, I mean, when he put the ring on, one of the first things he did was he made a creation of his mom and dad.
Yeah, them going like,
let's keep in mind
Bruce,
that
you did so good becoming Batman and breaking people's heads.
Keep in mind, that's where Hal Jordan got in trouble before, creating his people.
No, he tried to create a fucking city. There's a difference.
Same thing, but no.
Yes.
Yeah, big difference.
After a while, Bruce would have created him. Come on. He would have tried to make it go, and he would have gotten doped up and done it. No.
Okay,
Can you imagine a fucking stoner Batman just cruising around Gotham?
He would never get anything done.
No.
That's what we had when we had Chris O'Donnell as Robin.
Robin, give me the bat bong.
That's why George Clooney's a bachelor. He's too busy getting high to keep a woman.
What? Wait, what? All right, the worst fucking part of Batman and Robin, I just remember this. The fucking bat credit card he pulled out.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my God.
No. The worst part is the constant zoom-ins on everyone's ass while they're getting into their costume.
That was forever. That was the first time it was, anyway, where it was just, whoom, butt cheeks. Just the bat butt cheeks right there.
Nips on Batman.
Fucking nips on Batman. Fucking Joel Schumacher should be strung up for that alone.
They did it 3 times on Alicia Silverstone, though, when she got into her Batgirl costume.
Well, of course, yeah.
And that's when she was fat.
Ass. It's like, oh, all right.
Well, sure. By the way,
sure, why not?
She was fucking Batgirl, and she was
Alfred's niece.
What the fuck? That's the easiest thing to do. Like,
and he gives her access to the cave. He gives her a CD. It says, "I know you can figure out this password."
Yeah.
And then once she does, it's everything.
Oh, by the way, I've completely
and I made the suit for you.
Yeah, that has high heels because that's fucking good. And she magically knows how to use all the fucking gadgets in her belt. Just
I measured you while you were sleeping.
Batman and Robin can't beat up Ivy and them, but she can.
Don't touch me there.
The true secrets of the cave.
Fucking Alfred on the computer, like, oh, Barbara, here's what you really wanted to see. Just fucking old man balls.
Putting up porn of Barbara and selling it to the highest bidder. This is how I back. This is how he backs all of Batman's operation is kitty porn. Robin and Batgirl.
Then we can use the blood as lubricant.
Goddamn Christmas critters. But yeah, so all right, let's go around and let's say everybody's favorite moment from any Batman movie.
Movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I can start.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm thinking.
I gotta say, my favorite was Batman Returns. The moment where Catwoman approaches the mugger in the alley. It was just really, empowering woman, where she's just kind of like, careful, it's my first time. Just all the little quippy one-liners were great, and especially how she turns to the girl and is kind of just like, giving her shit for being helpless and weak and not kind of, being strong enough to fight for herself. I just thought that was classic, and, it was just a great kind of introductory scene, because before you only saw the silhouette in the window of her in the suit, and, that suit was just done so well. My God, Michelle Pfeiffer just really,
That's very true.
No one else could have worn that fucking latex like she did, so it just, I thought that was just really iconic and powerful moment, so.
Anybody else?
Haley, what was your favorite part of the movie?
2 mics. Come on.
She's overwhelmed now.
I really am, because, I feel like I've been shot down when I said Batman and Robin, but,
No, all opinions welcome.
I really enjoyed the Tim Burton Batmans, honestly. I don't really have a favorite part, but I really enjoyed those movies too. So, but yeah, I really like the Joker with Jack Nicholson.
That one over The Returns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say probably my favorite part of any Batman movie was Tim Burton's, and it was when Bruce Wayne is at Vicky Vale's apartment and the Joker shows up.
You want to get nuts?
Yes.
You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. And he just looks at him and tells him,
I know
dance
who
with
you
the
are.
devil and the pale moonlight.
What?
I don't know.
And he just gets fucking
Shot.
That
Real
right there is
silver
where he
will
realizes
catch
that
a
he
bullet.
killed his parents.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
And
But
he just
that's-
gets up and leaves.
Just remember that,
That's
boys and
Keaton
girls.
being Bruce Wayne. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
phenomenal.
A solid silver tray will save your life.
Yeah. Philip?
I'd have to. I gotta go back to Batman Forever. Just I have to go back to Batman Forever, and it's the first time you see Jim Carrey in the Riddler costume when he pops up in the Two-Face cave or whatever, the hideout, where it's just like
Which
split,
was so
cave.
ridiculous.
where it's like split down the middle of good and evil, And he does
That's Drew
his whole.
Barrymore, isn't it? One of the
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore plays the good chick.
Oh,
in
so
the white.
hot.
Yeah.
And then Shauna from Entourage is the other broad.
Oh, is that who that is?
Nice.
Okay. But yeah, he just comes down, does his whole spiel, and it's a great like the first time you see it, and he's like doing the whole thing, like spinning of the cane and everything. It's like that is Riddler. That is Riddler.
That's
right
true.
there.
I mean, it's a very specific Riddler. Though.
Yeah,
it's
specific
it's
Riddler.
Riddler from the '60s.
Yeah.
Kind of
Cartoony.
updated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's like that's the Riddler like a lot of people that
Okay,
most people
yeah.
know and love. It's like that's fantastic.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I want.
It's never gonna heal if you don't stop picking.
I mean, Jim Carrey definitely saves that movie.
He really does.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Chris O'Donnell doesn't help.
No shit.
Let's put it that way.
Ayla, you taking off?
All right.
Well,
All
it was
right.
nice.
We will
Say bye-bye to
see you at
Ailey,
the
everybody.
movie.
Oh, Phil, you got to give her a ticket so
She
that
has
she
them.
can meet us. Okay, cool.
Got him.
All right. God, what is my I want to be
Just watch
different.
out for the pooch.
I really do want to be different, but Batman Returns, when he shoots whatever that is into the wall behind the guy, and it's like, you missed me, baby, and he just fucking pulls
Oh,
it.
the grappling hook, yeah.
I fucking love that. So, it's been parodied so many times. I love
Yeah,
that
it was
so
just
much.
his grappling hook. He just locked it into
Yeah.
the brick wall and
He
pulled
does
it
like
out.
a little half smile and then just pulled it down.
Yeah.
Or I love the
Fuck
one.
that guy.
I love the one of the giant, like the devil guy on the stilts, breathing fire at people.
Yeah.
And Batman just climbs into his Batmobile, and like this little lift pops up, and he's like turns it around, and then just like the fire cannon just sets him off. Just sets the guy on fire, and then you just see the Batmobile just like slowly drive away.
Yeah.
That was a
It's
really
like,
good
oh
sound
my
effect,
God.
by the way. Phil's explosion. That was nice.
Then you got get the shark repellent.
Oh my god! I mean, that's a given though. That's everyone's favorite
Yeah.
because
That
it's so
repellent.
ridiculous.
Or I
Fighting a shark on a rope ladder from a helicopter.
I just love how you could see the shark's tail flopping, like the mechanical tail. That was priceless.
What about Jack LaLanne at the beginning of that movie for no
Oh
reason?
my god.
He's just in his fucking suit with a bunch of like bikini models, like Hey, remember when I was, young?
Shit. Yeah. Oh, that's my dog going nuts. She doesn't like people leaving.
Buffy.
Yes, my dog's name is Buffy. But,
Buffy the Kitty Slayer.
Yep. As far as the Nolans go, I gotta say one of my favorite scenes is probably with Scarecrow when he takes Katie Holmes down and shows it to her, just blatantly shows it to her, and he's like, "This is where we make the medicine," just like, fuck you, Jeff, not like that, you sick son of a bitch.
God
damn it. I apologize if there's anyone listening to this that was offended by those words. I cannot be held responsible for Team Henchmen Radio.
Please make sure that your
this
children
is my legal
listen
disclaimer. But
no, don't let your children listen. Make them listen.
They will learn things. The truth.
We will educate them on what you won't.
No, but seriously, I just thought that was really cool because Scarecrow, is kind, he's kind of just like, call the police, and they're like, what?
Fucking do it.
But it's like,
it's my dick.
I think Scarecrow is just a really interesting character, and seeing that, he's willing to make those kind of choices that most people won't, and that's kind of what makes him distinctive and kind of get away sometimes. So I thought that was kind of cool too.
I think one of the best Scarecrow moments was in Arkham Asylum, though, the video game, when you're fucking doing those Scarecrow levels.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so creepy.
Especially just the first one.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure it out.
Like,
and
what
you're
the
just
fuck
like,
is going on?
And you don't realize it's
keeps
a dream
popping up,
yet until you get into the dark world, and you're just
hallway.
like, what?
And fucking Jim Gordon is dead.
Yeah, you walk in the hallway, and then all of a sudden it turns into Crime Alley.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I say, we haven't really talked about the games at all, so.
Yeah, we really haven't.
2 games are probably
two
of my favorite video games.
They're the benchmark for superhero video games.
Mm-hmm.
However, can I have an Allie gets catty moment here?
I suppose.
Only because we tapped into it. I, like many Harley Quinn fans, was extremely offended and disgusted by how they changed her costume. No, fuck you, Jeff. No.
Well, no, because here's what I'm gonna fucking say right now. You saw the Harley Quinn outfit, like, that's fucking awful. And then the second they tried to put pants on Wonder Woman, you're like, no, fuck that noise. Same thing. It's just 2 different fucking things.
What?
I don't know.
I hate both. I don't want to change either way.
Yeah. You don't want to change. Okay.
I want it to be the traditional iconic look, and they stuck to everyone with that. Why you gotta fuck with Harley? I know she's getting popular.
Stick to everyone with that.
No, I think everybody was pretty much stylized. I mean,
yeah,
everybody's changed
up a little bit. But they didn't change that much. They took so many liberties, putting her in a skirt. Number one, I just thought that was really wrong.
This was a nurse outfit.
It's a bodysuit. Yeah. God damn it.
Well, she didn't have access to her costume. What do you
Would
want?
you have been happier if it was like a doctor's outfit, since she was a doctor?
Yes, I would have. I mean, just ultimately, you got to stick with the character, and I just.
But that's
you,
not
no.
hot. That's not hot. You're not going to make
it's
any.
It's not about being hot.
It is for the geeks.
Well, Harley is
How am I going to jerk off?
Because she's a voluptuous woman in a skin-tight bodysuit. It works for Catwoman. It can work for that. Everyone got pissed when they changed Catwoman's outfit with Halle Berry, so I can get pissed when they change Harley.
No, I'm not saying you can't be pissed. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever.
No.
I thought it was different because they put pants on Wonder Woman and you got fucking mad. I thought it was the same thing, but it's the change that you don't like, so that makes more sense.
Yeah. I'm a purist. Yeah. I want them to stick with the thing that made me fall in love with it. And that's why at Comic-Con last year I found probably one of my favorite original artworks, and it's multiple Harleys as different Green Lanterns. And
yeah, that's pretty cool.
The Red Lantern Harley is her in the outfit from Arkham Asylum. So It's like acknowledging that a lot of us fans really hated that change. So and plus, I'm supposed to be getting catty. You're not supposed to agree with me, so fuck you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fucking Jeff.
Shut
but
up.
Yeah, I love the games. I still have yet to finish the first one just because I got kind of stuck. I have a lot of trouble with the stealth stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of got stuck on one of those things where, like, everybody's got a gun and you're down, like, trying to crawl underneath them and stuff and pop out and, like, the jail levels. And so, but I absolutely love it. I thought the whole history of Arkham, the secret of Arkham, was really fascinating. All the bonus little Joker trophies and shit like that. They really, they incorporated stuff from the animated series. They incorporated things from the comic, from the movies, everything. It was very cohesive and fluid.
It's one of the first games where, like, through both games, you basically see almost every comic book or every Batman villain.
Every major one.
Right. Or they allude to some too, like not Humpty Dumpty, Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, you find like the whatever.
The different cells.
They just like either you'll see him or throw a nod or something for it.
Fucking
like,
Calendar
sweet.
Man is in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Arkham City.
Arkham City, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is like, really?
That was
Calendar
the
Man?
biggest bullshit achievement, though.
Oh, yeah. Unless you cheat at that. Like, I have to wait another fucking year. You can change the dates.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody waits a year.
Yeah, but I mean, I missed Christmas and Valentine's Day. I gotta wait another fucking year in order to do that.
Well, I mean, even to cheat, it's time consuming.
It's very kind of
You know, you turn the game off, go to the settings, update the date, go back to the game.
Yeah.
And you do it 12 times.
You have to do it that way?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want it now, if you don't want to wait for the fucking calendar year to
Son
go.
of a bitch.
All right. Oh, shitball.
But I mean, it was cool to have him as a character in that game.
Yeah, I mean, just all the little characters that are in it was really cool.
Is the ventriloquist in it?
No, but the fucking dummy is in.
Yeah.
He's in the
Scarface, nice.
Yeah.
You
I
find him,
love that character. I've always said that I think that would be a really fun character to do in a live action, and Paul Giamatti has to play the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti would be good at it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he would be the shit. Absolutely the shit.
Or something like the next Batman movie. I really hope they decide to do a villain that's not been done in any movie before, like a
Absolutely.
Like, I just want to see one. I'd love to see some of the Batman characters that most people are looking at as like you'll never see.
Fucking Mad Hatter would be
The
phenomenal.
Clock King.
Clock King would be
Clock
cool.
King, Mad Hatter, ventriloquist, somebody like that. It's just a low budget bullshit character.
Toy
like I said
Master.
before, just beat them up
That's
for
Superman.
10 minutes in the beginning, and then that's
Toy Man,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean that's going to introduce people to a whole new Batman character they probably had no idea about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be somebody that everybody knows. Just pick out a character like nobody's heard of this character.
or something like
Unless you've read 1,000
Killer Croc,
ones.
yeah.
I'd love to see Killer Croc.
No, Clayface.
Clayface.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first Batman the Animated Series show, I think.
Yes, it was.
The Clayface
Yeah.
The
episode.
first 2-part episode they did was Clayface.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal because I had no fucking idea. I was like, what, at 12, 13 when that fucking show came out?
Was he never a character before that point?
I think he was, but
Or
He
was it
was.
like Harley Quinn?
He had been created in the mid-'70s. After the kind of revamp of film noir got really popular again and all the art films, that was kind of DCU's way to kind of get hip again. They were always kind of doing little stunts like that. But Clayface, for most people that don't know, he was like the pretty boy. He was an actor and very successful, very popular, and ultimately he gets like destroyed and scarred and but he can change his facial appearance and ultimately he's this giant clay monster.
Right.
And he can like throw clay and but he hates himself and becomes a villain because he's no longer,
When actually, if you
pretty actor.
if you think about it, kind of the way that they did
Jigsaw.
what's her name from the Catwoman movie? If you think about it,
Glenn Close?
I don't know, the chick
It was
that played
Sharon
the villain,
Stone.
Sharon Stone. There you go.
Old Beaver, yeah.
If you think about it, she kind of was Clayface a little bit, I guess, because
She got her power from makeup.
Yeah, she got super
I
strength
didn't watch
and shit.
it.
She just didn't change
I
form
don't
or
know
some
that
shit.
because I didn't watch fucking Catwoman.
Thank you. I'm not alone.
Watched it once, got rid of it, and there we go. Well,
Burn it!
I didn't even buy it. I just got it from Blockbusters. Like, let's see how bad it is.
Oh, just looks fucking terrible.
But I would love to see Clayface. I think with the CG now, it could be done really well. And he's such an interesting character. The different disguises would, give you a lot of options with different actors. And, again, that style is very popular again now. So I think it would work well.
I would like to see Freeze redone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they did him the first
with the
time.
glass
No.
case on the head.
Yeah.
The real glass
All
case,
right,
the oval.
let's talk about the next Batman movie that has to come out then, because after this, it's not going to be Nolan. They're going to basically have to either A, reboot it, and just make a whole new fucking series.
If they can reboot it, just don't do another origin story.
Yeah, we all know. We get it,
So.
Yeah, at this point, we know Batman's origin story. And it's not even that long, really.
Yeah.
You
And you
think
can really only do it
Parasite,
so many
Train,
ways
go
before it
Batman.
just gets boring, you
Yeah.
know?
I think the best way they could start off fresh and to do it really new but kind of come full circle would be to start off with a young sidekick. Not necessarily Robin. We could even have Batgirl. But I think it needs to be a significant age difference, not like the way it was done in Forever and Batman and Robin. I think it needs to be a young kid. After we saw Kick-Ass, we know that kids
That's
have
very
the
true.
capability to, be successful in comic book movies. And there's a lot of potential talent out there. So I think it could easily be done.
Question is, how do you get it believable to where it's not kind of hokey, like
not campy? I think it could easily be done.
Well, if you did the Damian storyline in some kind of way, that would be the best bridge right now, because Damian as Robin, he's so fucking dark, and it's about keeping him from killing fucking people.
And ultimately, with that, you could flashback and fill in origin with like Nightwing and Robin and Jason Todd, and you could potentially even throw in like Red Hood and shit like that in that storyline. It would be very open.
And especially if they're really wanting to do a Justice League movie here soon, that could help them to like pan it down to where it would be kid friendly for them to be able to do a Justice League movie properly for everybody.
I feel Robin gets a bad rap. Like everyone hates fucking Robin. Yeah. Christopher Nolan said, "I'm not going to do a fucking Robin," like just really defensive and angry about it. Like,
well, it's kind of it's kind of like how back when like they killed Robin and stuff, like Robin's one of those characters like everybody grew up like I could be Batman's sidekick or some shit,
Yeah, that's what I've always identified. I never thought I could be Batman, but I could be Robin. I'm fucking 10.
But then once you get the one writer who throws him in there, and then they change a little bit of it, is when you start getting people pissed off. It's like when they had the Chris O'Donnell one. It's like okay, but you made him 21.
Well, I mean, he was just done wrong in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the problem.
They tried to do too many Robins in one to make him, accessible to different personality types. And that's cool and everything, but ultimately that's going to burn the fans. And another way I think that could be interesting would be to go full-on Batman Beyond. Okay.
That would be fucking cool.
To go, okay, this stuff happened, maybe even say the Nolan shit was, the origin of Batman, but now we're going to go a little bit in the future, and there's this new kid, Terry, and easily right now I can tell you that kid who plays the werewolf in Twilight would be fantastic. I know we don't necessarily love him. No, listen, that Taylor Lautner guy, but he's got the physicality, he's got that kind of dark look, and he's very popular right now, so it would really hit off.
The only problem I would see with that, and not
he knows martial arts
choice, but just the idea of like a Batman
Beyond.
He
also knows how to lick balls.
Oh yeah, a lot of people know that.
The problem with Batman Beyond, I'm curious.
Is if you are somebody making a movie and you're trying to bring in a large audience, not just a comic book audience, you tell somebody that it's not going to be Bruce Wayne as Batman, are you
fuck it?
Yeah, like, well, I don't know.
I just think it'd be cool because it would give an opening to a new pathway that we haven't seen yet.
Do you think a sale point? I don't know if that would work very well.
Do you think it would be acceptable, like, if we did start Batman out with a sidekick instead of like doing Robin or Batgirl, like instead maybe doing Nightwing? Like just jumping in like, hey, we got Nightwing here.
You can't do Nightwing
without doing Robin.
Yeah, you got to establish who Dick Grayson is.
The whole point of Nightwing is that he's separate. Like, he didn't want to be Robin. He didn't want to be Batman. He wanted to be...
Well, what about a Nightwing movie?
I think a Nightwing movie would work, absolutely. You have all that backstory there that you can touch on, but at the same time, he's Nightwing. That's the whole point of the movie, would be him proving that he's this whole other character. And meanwhile, all the fucking villains just don't give him any respect. Like, oh, it's fucking Robin. Is fucking pounds the shit out of him.
I'm fucking Nightwing. Different?
I'm not Robin anymore.
Is his rogue gallery different?
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
He's in a completely different city and everything.
Yeah.
And then you get into Teen Titans, which would even be really fun to do now, but I don't think it would be accepted.
Teen Titans would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be accepted, although Beast Boy would be really cool to see in a live action.
Get a bunch of 16-year-olds.
Well, I mean, it's just like the Avengers, or with Marvel now. Now we're going to see a bunch of weird fucking movies. Like, there's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out. And
nice.
What?
Yeah. Rocket Raccoon, Nova, and all these other fucking
Nova, really?
Yeah. Nobody knows about unless you read comics.
Dude, I'm ready for that, though. I think, like, especially even with Marvel, to branch off, like, I think the smartest thing Marvel could do is stop doing fucking X-Men movies and jump to something like X-Force or X-Factor.
Well, that's not Marvel. That's the problem with those X-Men movies.
Disney
right now. No, it's not Disney. It's Fox. Fox owns the rights to X-Men still.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that are putting those out. So that's why you don't
they need to fucking quit.
Right. You don't hear anything about Captain America or anything like that in those movies. It's because they're trying to keep them separate until that fucking lease runs out and Marvel gets them back. Same thing with Spider-Man. That's still Sony that's making those movies, which is why you can't have any allusions to anything else that's going on in the Marvel Universe. So,
okay.
The only thing I would say about all these smaller, no-name comic book characters is eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to be so watered down The movies are going to be bad in general.
It depends.
And that's the one thing you don't want to have happen.
That's what makes me kind of nervous.
Right now,
like all these small little characters coming out.
There's a huge comic book movie fad in the last, I'd say, 5 years.
That's very
10 years almost.
Huge,
Yeah.
And eventually it's going to get to the point where, it's going to get diluted, and eventually the fad's going to kind of almost wear off.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fine with that, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the idea that, this new generation and a whole new group of readers is coming in, because obviously that's going to make people, at headquarters and shit work harder and come up with new stuff and, really keep working at keeping us hooked. But ultimately, I think, that it's always been a subculture. And I think a lot of us kind of want it to remain that way. And part of, with the expansion of the movies and, it becoming so much of a pop culture icon, comic books over the past however many years, is that it's become fashionable to like comics. And that's just, I think, kind of almost weird. I think it's great that, finally the artists and the writers are getting recognized, and everything like that. But ultimately, we are kind of our own thing. And I kind of like, it remaining its own separate entity. And I think, just look at San Diego Con. I mean, 20 years ago, San Diego Con was this kind of subcultural thing. And that's the thing. Now it's not even a Comic Con. It's a geek convention. It's about gaming, movies, sci-fi, everything. And even Mid-Ohio Con now that Wizard World's coming. I mean, Boondock Saints people coming, that's awesome. But it's like 10 years ago that never would have happened.
Right.
It would have just been straight comics. And I think that I don't want our society, our subculture to kind of get lost in the limelight. You know what I mean?
Hey, Phil, you think that Playboy Playmate's going to be there that was fucking hot like 20 years ago? You think she's still going to fucking attend every year?
Can she afford to attend right now?
I think it might be the only way she makes money anymore.
What was her name? Kathy St. George or something like that?
Something like that.
She's there every
year.
I think she was there the first time we went.
Well,
Have you noticed that the magazines that she has out to sign, I think they stay the same?
Oh,
think they've ever changed?
Well, I hope she hasn't done a new one.
Yeah. No one's going to fucking buy it. You could probably pay her $50 and see it live now.
Yeah.
All right, bitch. See it. Let's see the cunt.
Now. No, we're not going anywhere else.
Now.
Oh, my God.
I got to hear it real quick again, because it was so sad, but at the same time it was fun. When you met the guy from the Warriors.
Oh, it was awesome, though.
Warriors. Not the way that it happened. Phil, tell the story, please.
It was me, you, and Grant just walking by, and we look up, and he's just sitting there, and we started talking about him, pointing at him, and it's like, that's the dude from the Warriors. Dude, he's awesome, and we're sitting there, looking through bins of comics and everything as we're doing it.
Was he Cochise?
Cochise, yeah.
Okay.
He was, if anybody's seen Warriors, he was the black guy with the big Indian headdress. Okay.
Obviously, his name was fucking Cochise.
There's a couple guys in there with some weird ass fucking names.
That's true. That's very true. So, was Roddy Piper there? Oh, that was Lee Liv. Never mind.
Oh, but Mark Metcalf was there. That was one that I really loved.
Yeah.
But
all right, but
we're standing there just looking through the comics and everything, and we just keep looking over and dude from Warriors, So we all just start quoting it, and then you looked over and then you tapped me on the shoulder, and we look over and he's doing the whole Warriors with the bottles on his hand.
Oh, it's so fucking sad.
And he's doing it to us, He's looking dead at us doing it.
You didn't do that line, motherfucker.
Warriors, we're sitting there, and then and then you started, you turned around and you started doing Warriors, and I was sitting there Jeff, don't antagonize me. Warriors, and I felt oh my God, he's actually going to do it with him. And then the three of us just casually wandered over there talking to him, and there was nobody around him.
Yeah.
This place was completely filled with geeks.
It's a fucking black hole around the Warriors.
Yeah, and there's this arch of nothingness around him. Everybody was kind of avoiding him or something. And it's
well, he did say he was fucking sick too, which I did not appreciate.
He did. I
got the flu.
I love how he didn't tell us until we're leaving too.
Yeah. Like an asshole.
Well, we're gonna get out of here because we gotta go. Me and my wife and everything. All right, that's cool because I've been sick all weekend. So Oh, really? All right, thank you. I'm going to go wash my hands
You're
now.
only around thousands of people, Jackal.
And then so finally we're talking to him and everything, and then like we're talking whatever, and he's like, I'll sign something for you if you want or whatever. Like, all right, cool, like sweet. So we got him to sign it and everything, and he turns to me, he's like, it'll be $50. I'm like, oh, you
He's got the fucking paint switch on you.
Mind you,
it says to Phil.
Yep. Completely personalized and everything.
That'd be $15, bro.
That'd be $50.
Mind you, though, he didn't charge Phil to take a picture with him, which a lot of people.
I did get a free photo.
I did get a free photo, but
I will do it for a ham sandwich.
Who are you, Mama Cat?
I do birthday parties.
Hey, please. My children need to eat.
I can't be doing the bottle thing all day.
Hey, it only works once.
Hey, Tom DeFalco sent us out to go get him a drink. So shit.
What? Oh no! We didn't get him a drink. No, that was the fucking comic book guy at the first convention. Remember, he gave us all the good deals. And at one point, we're walking by. And this guy, like we've been buying. I bought my Punisher meets Archie comic.
Oh my God, Jeff!
That's one of the best comics.
You're embarrassing me right now.
Literally, okay. Punisher, the guy with the skull on his chest. Punisher meets Archie. Yeah. Archie and Jughead. Punisher meets Archie.
It's just what you think it is.
Just exactly what you think it is.
Who wins?
No.
Jughead.
Yeah,
nice.
Amazingly, But so I bought that, and I bought my Watchmen series from him, and. He at one point we're walking by and he's like, "Hey, could you get me a drink?" We're like, "Really?" And we did. I mean, we felt like we kind of owed him one. So
we were on our way to go get lunch anyway, really. But it's like,
we went. We got like.
It's one of those things like we're not even like talking to him or looking at him or anything. We're just walking by. Like all of us got book bags on us and everything. Just walk. He just grabs us like, "Hey, can you go get me a drink?" Like, who the fuck are you? Like, fuck. Like. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, I give you deal. Anything here, I give you deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking nuts.
Maybe we make deal.
Maybe make deal.
But, man. So, okay, from this new Batman movie coming out, what are you guys expecting to see?
I mean, I'm just expecting a good movie at this point. I have a friend who works with me. He said he went and saw it today at 7 a.m., and he said it was amazing. So,
yeah.
I'm just hoping it's going to be good. I was afraid that it was going to suck. I was afraid that there was going to be like fucking he kills Batman at the end because Christopher Nolan can't fucking have anybody do it after him.
I'm fine with that.
That's cool with me.
No, fuck you.
Can't have Batman die.
Yeah, that would just be fucking terrible.
Batman killed Bane and he dies?
No.
Batman and Bane both die? No.
Who's gonna fucking take care of the Riddler?
That's the next movie,
Edward Nygma.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. So, hopefully chugga, it will be good.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying Oscar buzz. So.
Keeping my expectations pretty low.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be expecting too much and then it's still a good movie, but not the level I wanted at.
Yeah, I just hope it's not one of those movies like it's awesome, and then the end is like boom, it's like the hell was that?
I heard it's long. I heard it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't drag. That's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a long fucking day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't make me keep looking at my watch. Like how much longer?
All I know is that I hope it has a pretty decent pace if it's gonna be that long. Mm-hmm. Just because as much as I love Dark Knight, I think there were definitely some slow points where you kind of just start to tune out a little bit to the story, and I really hope we don't have that.
But seeing from what we've gotten from him from his past movies, even with Inception and stuff, I honestly, personally think we don't really have too much to worry about.
I don't either.
He's definitely one of the premier directors nowadays.
Yeah. The one thing I'm really excited about is Tom Hardy. I mean, personally, he hasn't been that all-out fantastic actor in the past. I mean, Jesus Christ, Star Trek Nemesis. But I think, he definitely has a lot of potential, and especially after seeing him in Inception, I'm really curious, especially considering from the minute one when I heard about, them doing another one after Dark Knight, my original thought was, do Poison Ivy as, an eco-terrorist. So to see, Bane as kind of more of a terrorist, I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously, we already touched on it, but to see how they incorporate Ra's and Talia al Ghul. Mm-hmm. Is Talia going to be a secondary love interest? Is she going to just be a villain? What exactly are we going to see there? And if we know anything from Christopher Nolan is that he always has some kind of a huge twist
Right.
So I'm really curious, especially with it being the final piece in a trilogy. You know, the kind of rule with trilogies is ultimately in the third movie you find out that everything you kind of believed in wasn't necessarily what it was, and I'm really curious to see if he pulls that and we get something like really shocking about maybe the Wayne family or Bruce or, you know, someone associated to the inner circle. So
my only concern with this one is Catwoman.
Yeah.
There's nothing about
Anne Hathaway
that says Catwoman to me.
I hear
There's
that
nothing.
they pull it off pretty well. Actually,
Really?
like some people say she stole some of the scenes in the movie. So
really,
and they say that Bane steals the movie too. Again, it's
yeah.
everyone but Batman that's gonna get fucking accolades for this goddamn thing. So.
Well,
that's fine because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Ultimately, I think, you know, the expectation for Catwoman is pretty high. And really, Anne Hathaway, you know, she is a pretty good actress. I mean, I'm worried about the physicality more than anything because she hasn't done anything really, like, with stunts or, you know, a lot of fighting in the past.
But we have seen her tits.
Jesus, Jeff. That doesn't show anything about gymnastic ability or anything like that. So my thing is the physicality. She's got to be able to keep up. And ultimately, you know, I don't know, maybe...
Whoops.
Oh, God. Just ultimately, I think she needs to just flow into the story well. And I really hope that, you know, they do her justice more than anything. I hope she doesn't turn out to just be a hot piece of ass in the movie and that she actually is a substantial character.
I just hope it's just not a chick in a mask that can fight. It's like, oh, she's Catwoman.
That's a thief.
Yeah.
Like, no.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up because we got you know, it's 5 minutes till 11. So
okay.
Final thoughts. Anybody? Something to take away from all this? Batman, cool.
Harley Quinn got robbed. She should have been in these movies.
If Heath Ledger wouldn't have died, I think she would have been in this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Phil and I have always said that, you know, it's kind of ironic that Heath died when he did because our idea for a good Harley to go with Heath's style of the Joker would have been Brittany Murphy. And, you know, she died shortly after Heath did, so it really kind of, you know, it's one of those things. I think we missed out on a great possibility there.
Just because of Heath Ledger's portrayal as the Joker, we think that Halle Berry. Wow, no. That she would
Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy would have like really
complimented his style
of Joker.
Not only just her look, but you know she would have done the darker kind of side. And but I hope in the future films we end up seeing Harley one day. I think as popular as she's getting, that they're going to have to finally put her in eventually, and I just hope they do her justice.
Even a cameo appearance.
Harley Quinn should have been in the movies. That's what we'll take away from this. This has been Henchmen Radio for C-Rod, Allie, Phil. Good night, goodbye. Enjoy The Dark Knight Rises. And, of course,